You're listening to Soap Dirt, the latest in television entertainment news.
Hey there, GH fans. It is Belinda from Soap Dirt. And with just a few weeks to go until Jason Morgan is back in Port Charles, you gotta wonder what that means for Carly Spencer and Drew Cain. I think for a couple of big reasons that there's an imminent breakup for that couple. Let's dig in and talk about what's ahead for Carly and Drew, what's happening for them right now, and how it's setting the stage for Jason's return and possibly a huge reunion with the woman he married and lost. But before we unpack it all, please click subscribe so you don't miss a thing. So Steve Burton was back to filming in January at General Hospital after wrapping his run at Days of Our Lives in December. And that means we're just a few weeks away from Jason Morgan's General Hospital comeback. Should be set to coincide with February sweeps, which are always a big, big deal for the ABC soap opera. But think about what Jason's coming back to. You know, when he supposedly died in that tunnel in Greece, he was in a shootout with Peter August and was trying to protect Drew and Britt Westbourne and some other people. He died a hero. Of course, only he's not dead. So I'm guessing it'll go one of two ways. One, Victor Cassadine dug him out of the rubble and stashed him somewhere. Or two, Jason dug himself out of the rubble but had amnesia, head trauma, that kind of thing, and has been living somewhere else with no knowledge of who he is. I don't really care how they explain what happened from the collapse of the tunnel until his return. I just think it's exciting to see Stone Cold heading back to Port Charles. So he's going to have to make some big adjustments, though, because a lot has gone on since he left. He died, soap dead. It was like October of 2021. So we're at like 2 years and change that he's been dead. When he died, Carly was still with Sonny. She filed for divorce, in fact, a few months after he died. It was like February 22, I think, when she filed for divorce. And then she had that slow burn, getting involved with Jason's twin, Drew, and they're now in a full-fledged relationship with him. At the time of his death, Jason was dating Britt Westbourne, but she was already dying from Huntington's, but then the hook killer took her out first. So when Jason comes back, he's going to learn Sonny and Carly split. Sonny married Nina, Carly's with his twin, and Britt's in the cemetery. It is a lot to adjust to. In the meantime, things are going off the rails for Jason's twin brother, Drew. He got out of prison early, but emerged a very angry man, which is understandable. I mean, he sacrificed himself to keep Carly out of prison when he asked her not to be buying up all that stock to try and drive up the price to benefit him and Michael in the merger. She knew what she was doing was illegal, but over and above that, which that's not good anyway, but Michael and Drew, she was lying to them and hiding it. And they were like, don't do this when, they got an inkling of it. And I've seen in comments here and in a lot more comments on Soap social media where people are saying Carly accidentally committed insider trading or that she didn't even know. Let's be clear, no, it was not accidental. She took several steps to engage very secretly in what she knew was unethical behavior at a minimum, and she should have known it was illegal. Anybody who's not been living under a rock knows that Martha Stewart went to prison for insider trading for doing a lot less than Carly did. Carly is someone who's been around money. I'm sure she owns stocks and bonds. Most people know what insider trading is. It's not a mystery. It's not something like advanced particle physics that you can say, oh, I didn't know that, Carly knew she was being shady because she was lying to Michael and Drew and hiding it. And she sold her half of the hotel to get the cash to buy the stock. That's how she lost her hotel, because the merger didn't happen. She lost the money and then she couldn't buy it back. Yes, Nina bought it later, but Carly lost it all on her own, and she refused other people who tried to buy her half back for her. I'm not saying Nina's hands are clean. This video is not about Nina. Nina's done horrible, horrible law-breaking things. What I'm talking about now, and that's why I'm just focusing on this, is how Drew wound up in prison. If Carly hadn't been skirting the law, he would never have been in the position to be in prison. And I do think that's kind of part of his frustration. The only thing Drew did was tell Carly they were planning to merge the companies because that was his girlfriend. He never asked or encouraged her to do what she was doing, but he still protected her by going to prison so that she wouldn't have to. And I'm sure in the back of his head, he probably has some anger about being in prison at all. You know, I think that anger is going to be more focused on Nina for turning them in than on Carly for doing the thing that got them turned in. And then, of course, he got beaten within an inch of his life. And that clearly left not just physical scars, but some emotional ones too. And this might bring up some of the PTSD from when he was locked up for years by Peter and Victor. So this coming week, Sam and Carly have a conversation about how much he's changed. And it seems they're both kind of struggling with this volatile new version of Drew. So Jason's coming back, and in his mind, the obstacle to him and Carly being together was Sonny. But Sonny moved on with Nina, and frankly, he's still entangled with her. I don't see him pursuing a reunion with Carly, not anytime soon. But now Drew is in the way of a Jason and Carly reunion. And, you know, I'm certain Drew's going to be thankful Jason survived, you know, because he was trying to save him at the time. But he may also feel threatened, and that could cause more anger issues. And let's be clear, Drew is in Carly's life, I believe, because Jason was dead and not an option anymore after her split from Sonny. If Jason was still in town this whole time when her marriage fell apart, I am certain Jason would have been there to comfort her, and they would have picked up where they left off the night of their wedding. They might even be married themselves, if not for the whole, you know, him having to leave from the vaccine thing and all that. So if you recall, not long before his death on General Hospital, they were getting married to show unity to the 5 mob families. But in fact, Carly and Jason had fallen back in love at that point, you know, and they obviously had that complicated, long-running, decades-long relationship. And it always seemed to cross lines. Jason put Carly before the women in his life, and that caused problems. Definitely a lot of simmering love there, and they brought it all out. And so their wedding vows, when they said them, were real. They meant them. So yeah, I think Carly still has all that love for Jason in her heart. It's not like they broke up. I mean, Sonny's return blindsided them, and it was very complicated, and she had all these feelings for him, but she felt like she owed it to Sonny to give it a try. And then Jason up and died in Greece. So when Jason saunters back into town looking all stone cold and yummy, I mean, what's the girl to do? I believe the love in Carly's heart will come flaring back to life when she sees he's alive and well. And if Drew is this angry, volatile version of himself, I could see Carly walking away from him and back into Jason's arm. I mean, realistically, I could see her cheating with Jason and it all blowing up. That would be a pretty Carly thing to do. Remember when she was engaged to Franco and was shagging Sonny on the side? This is something she's done in the past. I mean, she's the new and improved Carly now, but you never know. So I'm not certain Jason would want to hurt his brother that way. Not that they're that close or anything, but before Jason died, he and Drew were making an effort. They were like building a treehouse or something, if I remember. So we'll see how it goes. But I feel strongly that Carly is still smitten with Jason Morgan. I think she still loves him. And when he's back, I just don't think Drew stands much of a chance. I don't think Carly would rush into his arms and dump Drew 5 minutes after Jason gets back to town. But I kind of feel like the writing is on the wall once we heard that Steve Burton was coming back. So what do you guys think? Are you anticipating a Carly and Jason reunion once Steve Burton's first air date arrives in February sweeps? Let me know what you think. Drop your comments. Please click subscribe if you haven't already, and definitely come back soon. We are here talking General Hospital 7 days a week. And as always, I'm Belinda from Soap Dirt.
Thank you for being a loyal listener. Follow us wherever you get your podcast, because you don't want to miss the next episode. Soap Dirt is on all the major podcast platforms, including Apple Podcast, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and more.